Okay, welcome back to my Earth to Mars video. And in the last video we got lined up with the base and we brought ourselves all the way down to Mars, used the atmosphere as a brake, got ourselves pretty well lined up with Olympus, and now we're just riding through the upper part of the atmosphere. We had a bit of a skip there off the atmosphere so we could close out the last, this says we're still 5,000 kilometers away from Olympus, so we skipped up out of the atmosphere a little bit, and we'll ride out through those last few thousand kilometers and then go back down. So let's unpause the simulation and pick up right here where we left off. See if there's anything we need to do while we're here at Apoapsis. I think we're in pretty good shape. So I can go ahead and warp time ahead. See, our altitude's 109. So I can warp time ahead until I'm at least down to like maybe 80 kilometers or so. And go prograde with the autopilot just to keep the ship set in the direction I want. Okay, we're at Apoapsis and on our way back down. And aero brake says we're coming up a little short, which may sound strange, but that's actually what I wanted to show. Okay, we're getting down now where you can see the vessel starting to pitch quite a bit on its own, and that just means we're getting some atmospheric drag. So I'm going to go back to real time, and what I want to do is get the communication MFD dialed in. So I'm going to set the frequency for the long range VOR transmitter 11420. And we'll set the second one for landing pad number 1, 129.70. And when we get within 500 kilometers of the base, those will come in handy. Go back to map MFD for now. Zoom in another level. And let's see what we've got going on. We're down to 86 kilometers. Down to 80 kilometers. Let me check my cooling. Cooling's okay. Guess I should bring that over a little bit. Engage the autopilot.
Auto start. Center of gravity shift online.
And now we're going to use aero brake MFD to help us make sure we land at Olympus. (2,800 kilometers away from the base. Down to 72 kilometers. Can't do a lot of time accelerating at this point, unfortunately, so we just gonna have to ride this part out. couple things I can pay attention to as I'm coming back down through the atmosphere is the distance off base. I want to make sure that that's closing in, getting closer to 0. So I'll do some bank adjustment here once we start getting some more atmospheric drag. We are going to do a landing pad landing, not a runway landing. So we do want to aim straight to the center of the base. Whereas, when you're coming back from the ISS, if you're going to land at Wide Awake or if you're going to land at KSC, it helps if you're actually 30 or 40 kilometers off the base. That way you've got time to, come in, do your S-turns, and land on the runway. Okay, that's going the wrong way, so not sure which way I need to bank, though. I think it's this way. Oh, looks like I'm wrong. Yep, as I bank this way, it's getting closer to 0, so that's what we want. Okay, we're at 52 kilometers. 2,500 meters away from the base, basically. And I think I can switch over to surface HUD now. I think that'll be more useful. And again, just got to ride this out. If you do too much time accelerating and when you're in the atmosphere, even though this atmosphere is thin, it's just, it throws things off very quickly. I can see my off-base distance is getting, coming down quickly, so I'll be able to bank back here in a moment. Altitude down to 40 kilometers. Still got 2,200 kilometers to go. Aero brake shows we're coming up a bit short. Okay, let me go ahead and start banking back now. And I'm not going to chase this constantly. I'll let it go the other way for a while. Maybe when it gets out to as much as 3-4 kilometers, maybe then I'll worry about it. But it's already slowing down, so. Alright, we're probably getting some good drag from the atmosphere again. I can see the orbit decaying, getting down into the part of the Martian atmosphere that actually creates quite a bit of drag.
Mach 15.
2,000 kilometers to go. Go ahead and start changing my angle of attack a little bit. Don't really want to descend too quickly, because if I descend too quickly, it'll slow me down and it'll take a long time to get over there.
Mach 14.
Do a bit of a bank adjustment. Keep that distance to the base close to 0. And we've got 1,800 kilometers to go. Okay, zero out the bank. Take a look at the external camera. Maybe zoom in another level here on Map MFD.
Mach 13.
And we've still got 1,600 kilometers to go. Set that aside for a second. I'm pretty sure we can get away with 2 or 3x.
Mach 12.
Off base distance is looking good. Got about 1,000 kilometers to go. Oh, 12.
Information. APU fuel 70%.
Now we've got about 1,000 kilometers to go.
Mach 11. Mach 10.
Once the distance gets down to 500 kilometers, I'll go back to real time, and then we'll bring up the VOR, VTOL.
Mach 8. Mach 7. Mach 6.
Okay, we're getting pretty close. This will be coming online any moment. Go ahead and go back to real time real quick. Distance off base is starting to drift a bit. Let me see which way I need to go there. Okay, that's making us get closer to zero.
Mach 5.
We're slowed down quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and open the hover door and the retro. And when I get down to maybe 3,000 kilometers, I'm going to have to go level and start thinking about the hover engines to make sure that we don't get all the way down to the ground before we get to the base.
Mach 4. $5,000.
Okay, I'm going to turn off the attitude hold. Turn on the descent hold. Okay.
Translation. Rotation. Translation.
We've got 400 kilometers to go. We're still moving along at, 700 meters a second. Got about 350 kilometers to go.
2000.
And we're using just a little bit of hover engines to keep us from descending too quickly.
Mach 3. You are cleared to land.
I need to add a little more hover.
900. 800.
About 300 kilometers to go.
Information. APU fuel 60%. 700. 600.
And you notice as we are slowing down here, it's our deceleration is getting less and less. And again, that's because the atmosphere is so thin.
500.
I'm listening to the altitude callouts. I do want to descend, but obviously I don't want to descend all the way until I get over to the base. So I'm just going to let myself get down to 100 meters or so.
Gear is up. Warning, gear is up. Down.
Put the gear down now, doesn't really matter.
Warning, gear is up. Gear down and locked.
About 200 kilometers to go. And I'll go ahead and have the hover hold, just keep us where we're at now. And I think I can get away with some time acceleration. I think it'll be okay.
Mach 2. Warning, coolant temperature.
Let me open the radiator. Forgot to reopen it when I got down into the, or when my velocity came down.
System reset.
About 100 kilometers to go. Let's get in a little closer. Okay, we can see the base now. It's out there.
Subsonic.
Switch over to nav 2 for the landing pad.
Warning, main fuel low. System reset. Rotation. Translation.
Got about 160 meters to go to the landing pad. About 50 meters to go. Go ahead and turn on auto land. Wheel stop. Close out our MFDs. And see how we did. And there we are on the landing pad. And we had plenty of fuel left over. 0.2%. Actually, it's easy to get this maneuver done and still have 5, 6, 10% left. I came in a little bit lower than I anticipated, so I had to use the hover engines a lot longer than I normally do. But one thing you can do in a crunch is use the cross-feed, take some fuel out of your RCS, transfer it over to the main. But at any rate, that turn off the APU. Go and turn on the external cooling now.
Using external O2.
And of course, now that we're on the landing pad,
External cooling online.
we can turn on the supply lines and refuel. But at any rate, that gets us down on the landing pad, and we are now done. Gone from Earth to Mars. We completed, what, I think it was 3 mid-course corrections. And when we get out to Mars, I showed a couple of different ways that you can use the atmosphere as a brake. And then we finally finished the actual base alignment and coming in and landing on the landing pad. So I hope you enjoyed this series, and as always, if you liked what you saw, please leave some comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video.